Hello and welcome to the English Matura Express, the express to your success. My name is Maria and today you get some final tips for the day of the English A-level exam. Hello and welcome back. So my name is Maria and today some final tips for you. So now let's start with the content of today's stream. First of all, we will review the exam structure. So we will have a look at an exam that you are not that shocked when you see it on your actual exam day. Then I will give you some tips for each section of the exam. Then you get some strategies for dealing with problems and difficulties, because of course that can always happen. Yeah, and at the end of the stream, I will give you some strategies for calming down your nerves. Okay, so let's start. Let's have a look at the exam structure in general. We are gonna have a look at the demonstration exam, health and nutrition. It's about eating disorders. So we've already talked about this exam. So if you want, you can just have a look at our stream, demonstration exam, health and nutrition, and there you can see where we actually did the exam. Chris did it, as far as I know. Okay, so now let's have a look at the exam once again. Okay, so here it is. I mean, I think it's nothing new, but let's just go through it again. So there is the introduction, and you will get some tips later for how to deal with the introduction. Then there is the task 1, the monologue part. In this case, it's about eating disorders, and there are always 3 bullet points you have to talk about, as you can see. And then there is the task 2, which is the dialogue. So you talk to your conductor about a healthy diet in this case. And there is an article for part 2. So you have to read the article, prepare the article, and then talk about it. So not only about the article, but also about your ideas and knowledge about the topic. And then there is a follow-up discussion, which is basically just some questions that you ask and that they ask you, and that's it. Good, so now let's go back to our presentation, to our stream, because now you get some tips for each part. Good, let's just wait. So, tips for the self-introduction. So the self-introduction is your first impression. So the impression that you make at first. So I think it's very important to prepare it in advance and practice it. It's something you can do every day. So think about, okay, who am I? What's my name? How old am I? And what did I do before? And also think about, okay, why do I want to take the A-levels? Think about your hobbies and so on, and try to present it, your friends, your cat, whatever. What's very important in the self-introduction part, the correct tenses, because you talk about your past, you talk about the present, and you talk about the future. So please use the correct tenses. So for example, I did an apprenticeship, yeah? So it's in the past, it's over, so you did it. I have been working in this company for 5 years. We need 4, not since, because since it's for a point in the past, and 4 is for a duration. So we have like this 5 years, and therefore we need the present perfect continuous. Then, because you are still working there. If you don't, then I worked there for 5 years, but now I'm here, and I quit my job 1 year ago. Yeah, but if you're still working there, you need to use the present perfect progressive. Good. And then after my A-levels, I will study maths. So in the future, you will study maths, because it's not sure, but you are thinking about that. So keep the tenses in mind. Then also think about the vocabulary. Oh, I just see that I'm in the... so now. Yeah. Good. So what's your job in English? Because sometimes it's really hard. For example, Verkäufer, sales assistant. It's not seller. So think about the vocabularies. And of course, you can prepare it beforehand. And what are your hobbies? So, I mean, skiing, that's pretty easy. What are some difficult hobbies to think about in English? Are there any difficult hobbies? Hobbies? Yeah, some hobbies. I don't know. Dancing, that's something we know. But yeah, eating. But yeah, think about the hobbies. And yeah, attention. So it's not really a monologue because you will be asked some questions too. So please be prepared for that. So not when they are like, oh, okay, and what are your hobbies? And you're like, just go on with your self-introduction. So no. So don't prepare it, but keep in mind that there will be some interruptions, yeah? So, yeah, that's part one, the self-introduction. Now let's move on to the monologue. Do we have a question? No, we will. Okay, it was you. Okay, so tips for the monologue. Here again, you see the monologue. Monologue. So it's task 1, eating disorders. The situation is as it follows. Being a nutritionist working with anorexic, bulimic and obese patients, you have been invited to talk to teenage students about eating disorders. Give a brief introductory talk to your listeners about eating disorders, talk about eating disorders and their symptoms, reasons for eating disorders, and how to reduce the number of patients. So that's task 1. So what is a good tip? I think the best tip, or one of the most important tips, is read the situation carefully and think about, okay, who am I? So in which role am I? So am I an expert? Am I a teacher? So here you are a nutritionist. Who is your audience? So to whom are you talking? Which is also, I think, very interesting when you think about your greeting. So do you start your monologue with dear ladies and gentlemen, or dear students? Yeah. What are the objectives of your task? So what is the goal? So why do you want to talk about it? So here it's because you are a nutritionist and you talk to students, maybe to make them aware of this topic. And yeah, and which type of situation are you in? Is it a talk, a presentation, just a discussion with your friend? So yeah, that's part 1 of it, okay? So think about the situation. And now let's go on to some more tips. After you analyze the situation, so what we just did, introduce yourself. So, hi, my name is Maria and I'm a nutritionist. And then it's always good, but of course it's just a tip. You don't have to do it, but it's maybe a good idea to start your whole monologue, because it's a monologue, it's a presentation, and it should be exciting, but informative and entertaining for your audience. So maybe you can think of a catchy phrase that draws the audience's attention. So like, you are what you eat. Do you know that? So eat healthily or whatever. Then tell the audience what you're going to talk about. And then the next tip, talk about each bullet point. I know it seems like a stupid tip, but sometimes people forget that. You have to talk about all the points, yeah? Because then the task is fulfilled, because you talked about all the 3 bullet points. And also a good tip, use linking words for the structure. It's very important that you structure your monologue, otherwise it's unclear for the audience to follow. So use linking words like first of all, secondly, furthermore, moreover, last but not least. There are thousands of linking words. Of course, you don't have to use all of them, but maybe pick 5 that you really like and use them. Especially when you practicing a monologue, try to use them all the time. And take notes. That's also very important. So there is a stream on how to take notes, but I think by now you have found your favorite type of taking notes. So we have like the mind map, bullet points, or I don't know. But it's very important that you take notes because when you are in front of the examination board, you get nervous, and then it's good to have something that gives you structure, that helps you stay focused and take notes. Good. So now let's move on to the second task, the dialogue. So again, here it's about a healthy diet. After your talk, you open the discussion up to questions from the audience about a healthy diet. Use the information from the attached text. So here we have the text. Nutrition and psychiatry, can you eat yourself happier? And as well as your own ideas during the conversation. So before you start reading your text, the article, have a look at the headline because it gives a lot away. So here it's nutrition and psychiatry, can you eat yourself happier? So it's about the mental health because of food. So that's probably a good idea to, start thinking about it. Is it true for me? So am I what I eat? Does it make me happy? Then read through the article and highlight passages. So as easy as it is. And again, take notes. In the dialogue, it's sometimes difficult because you have this text and then it's hard to, what should I note down and what not? And here I have some more tips for you about that. Note the main message, so read for the gist. You don't have to know every detail because it's just a 5-6 minutes talk, and so you don't have to know everything about the article because you didn't write it. And but read for the gist and try to find the main message. Sometimes, or I think most of the time, the main message is in the title, but still read through it, and then maybe note down the name of the article and of the publisher, and important statements, so some interesting facts, interesting ideas you want to share, and your own opinion on the topic. So that's always a good thing to do because you can talk about yourself, I think, and so you write down your opinions on the article and on the topic, which is here healthy nutrition. And do not note down word-by-word transcriptions of the article. So it makes no sense because you have the article, so why would you write everything down? You don't have the time for that, unfortunately. And don't write down whole sentences because you should talk about it and you shouldn't read about it. So just take some phrases, notes, and moreover, take initiative in the dialogue, so please try to be active. It's your exam, not the exam of your teacher. So he or she is also talking, but try to be active, ask questions, and now I will give you some tips for the follow-up discussion, which is like, after the role plays, take an active part. Again, an active part in a short discussion about the topic. So about the general topic, health and nutrition. And good for that is to prepare some questions, maybe some good questions, so not too simple. So don't ask them, do you like food? So maybe try to ask them about their health and nutrition, about food trends, about something more specific, I'd say. And listen carefully to the questions, don't be afraid, and they are about the topic, so if you are well prepared, it shouldn't be any, of course it's difficult, but concentrate, listen carefully, and try to answer the questions, and also be polite. British English is a very polite language, so if you want to interrupt them, maybe say something like, okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but not just start talking because it's a discussion, so try to be polite and open for their questions. Good, but still sometimes there are some problems and difficulties, and that's why I want you to give some tips for dealing with difficulties and problems. So I think one of the biggest problem is that you don't find words for it, and you cannot think of the correct word, and So one thing for that, you have to prepare, of course. So you have 30 minutes time to prepare. So write down the words you need, but still in the process of talking, you want to come up with other words. And when you don't find them, just try to paraphrase. Yeah. So maybe you can say something like, I'm lost for words, but I'll try to paraphrase. So I will try to put it another way. Or you just skip the thought. So they don't know what you were thinking. So you can just say like, okay, now let's move on. So that's fine. That happens. And so just get over it. No, just try to paraphrase it, which is really good. But if you're not able to do that, then just go on and continue with another point and another aspect. Sometimes it's, especially in the dialogue and in the follow-up discussion, it can happen that you don't understand the question and you don't understand the questions. And so just ask for clarification, because that could happen in German as well, that you don't, sometimes you don't understand people. So just ask like, I'm sorry, I didn't quite understood. Can you please repeat the question? That's fine, yeah? Could you please repeat? Sometimes it can happen that you lose your thread, so that that's how you lose your thread. So you don't know what you want to talk about. And so you just can say like, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I would just move on. Yeah. And there are, of course, some hesitation fillers. So when you have some problems and difficulties and you need more time to think, try to avoid things like and yeah, but still, yeah, of course you can use them. But yeah, you can also use words like, well, you see, that is an interesting point. That's a thought-provoking question. I think that's a really good one. And yeah, but my overall tip for problems, talk to the examiner. So you don't have to be quiet, because that's, I think, very bad, because it's a speaking exam, and if you don't speak, that makes no sense. So talk to the examiner, prepare, and we know that you are nervous. I think even the examination board is a little bit nervous. I'm always nervous as a teacher, so yeah, that's just the situation. Good. And here, to end up the stream, here are some strategies for calming your nerves. I know it's very difficult to say, okay, how not to be nervous, because some people are more nervous. Some are just pretty fine with exam situations. But here are some general tips, and maybe you can, they help you. Good. First of all, the first tip, and I think the most important one, is prepare. Because when you know, okay, I am prepared, maybe you are, or you should be, more self-confident, because you studied and now you want to show off what you studied. So prepare. That's very important. Then take a shower. So clean yourself. I know that sounds strange, but it helps your body to relax. So maybe before the exam, take a warm shower, or I mean, at the moment, take a cold shower because it's pretty hot outside. But yeah, take a shower and relax. Go through the topics or your self-introduction once more, and just try to relax. What's also very important, is fuel your body. So eat something. Eat something good. So maybe don't eat like chicken before the exam. So try to eat something healthy, something good that gives you some energy for the exam. I know when some people, when they are nervous, they can't eat. I always tend to eat more when I'm nervous. Still try to eat something, because you need the energy to think, and it would be bad if you collapse, or because you don't have enough sugar in your blood. So eat something and drink something. Breathe. That's also very important, and very simple, but try to take deep, long breaths before the exam. Then admit that you are nervous. Of course you can say that you are nervous, and it's fine because we all know that you are nervous, and it's an extreme, I mean, you won't die, but it's an extreme situation, and it's not an ordinary day. So you can just say, okay, I'm nervous, but it helps me. Because, for example, when I'm nervous, it helps me a lot because then I'm more focused. Because if I'm not nervous, it's just, never mind. So maybe it helps you. Maybe you can think of it positively, like, yeah, it's something good. It helps me to stay focused. So yeah, I am nervous. But anyway, it's an exam, so you probably are. Listen to music. That's always good to calm down. Maybe also listen to English music, which would be even better. Get some fresh air. So before the exam, maybe go outside and take a... Huh? What? A question?
No, unfortunately not. Since I thought there will be a lot of
there is no
questions.
question.
Since the exam is in a few days.
In a few days, so maybe you have some questions. If you have some question, please ask, because now we are here, and then it's too late. Yeah.
Too late, if you know the Motorhead song, if you want to listen to an English
yeah.
song.
That's an English song. Maybe you should listen to that. Good. So listen to music and get some fresh air. So probably not 5 minutes before your exam, because then you're stressed and you need to jump up the stairs and whatever. So, but in the morning, maybe on your way to the exam, try to breathe the fresh air. I know it's not really that fresh around here, but yeah, still go outside, breathe. And yeah, what helps me a lot is treat yourself afterwards. So maybe you think about, okay, when it's done, I will go to Soul Kitchen and eat something, or I will hang out with my friends. Never mind if it's positive or negative, but when it's over, I am relieved. Maybe forever, or maybe just for the next exam. But yeah, that's about it. But yeah, never mind, you will be nervous. That's completely normal, but we hope you do well. We wish you all the best for the exam, but anyways, it's just an exam, so you won't die, and hopefully, yeah, and that's about it. Do we have any questions? We have a question.
Yes, my exam is tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Oh, that's great. We wish you all the best, yeah?
Yes.
So thumbs up.
Daniela, you will manage
Yeah,
this exam.
you will. Yeah. So good. That's about it. We wish you luck. And yeah.
No other questions.
Do you have any questions about the exam? Maybe what's the topic for your exam? No, we don't know that. Unfortunately. We would tell you. No, we're not allowed to do that. I know we're not. We are fair.
But wait, no.
Are we? No. Okay, no questions?
No, unfortunately.
Okay, so then that's it. Yeah, go outside. Don't forget to put sun lotion on your face. And that's it. Bye-bye.